since I've left Hollywood, and that to me is the crazy thing. Everybody is freaking gone. It's just I feel like every month I get another call of somebody, boom, heart attack, brain aneurysm, overdose, shot in his car. Like, it's just so nuts, and so many reminders like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm like not in that world anymore.
For anybody watching, I'm Shannon, if you don't know. We have Natty and Davin here, and we all, once upon a time, used to hang out in Hollywood and just be crazy party people. And Davin is really interesting, and I'm excited to have him on the show because he has such a freaking interesting, crazy life. And so, can you just like all about it? Like, tell us, like, start from the beginning.
Oh my gosh, the beginning. All right, quick. I mean, I grew up in LA, so when I was a kid, I did a bunch of commercials and TV shows. I mean, I think like I was 4 or 5, my first like national commercial. And back then it was like print jobs, like, you open the paper and like JC Penney and like, there I am, like, like for all that stuff. And then I did some like movies and commercials and TV shows. And it's funny, some of the stuff pops up. There's like A Different World is on like Netflix right now. Look, Giovanna, like showing my kids, like I'm like popping up. I don't know, it's funny, but that was a long, long, long time ago. And then I went to San Diego State. But after college, like before I went to college, me and my buddy like made a little cassette tape that shows how old we are. I kind of taught him how to play drums. He taught me how to play guitar. We made we're like a 2-man band, and we made some original songs. We put a cassette tape together, and it kind of got passed around. And somehow I was like, hey, like I don't know, we were like kind of a band. So when I studied abroad in Florence, Italy, my junior year of college. I came back to finish at San Diego. He finished at USC. Literally, once we graduated, we started touring. We like basically toured the world for like 8 years. We got a few guys, and we were like the biggest unsigned independent band that at one point, and all over Germany and Austria and Switzerland and Japan and England. I mean, it was freaking with all the Warped tours. So that was it. So that's
what the band was called.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. NHOI.
Yeah.
And we've been talking a lot lately. Honestly, it's been like 20 years. And like we're all thinking like maybe we should record some songs and kind of do some. We kind of, I've thrown out a little teasers here and there. People are like, yes, dude, oh my God. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get back at Warped Tour. Had like a little reunion this year, some reunion shows. And like something like that would be cool, or like the When We Were Young Fest or I don't know. I don't think any of us want to leave our families and go on tour. You know what I mean? We're like one of the hardest working touring bands for so many years. That's what kind of led us into like Hollywood, where I met you guys, you and Natty, and because we toured for like 8 years, and then they moved us into the Oakwood Apartments. If you guys remember that, it's like where everybody stays. And at the time, like Miley Cyrus was living there. We didn't know Miley. We just knew Billy Ray Cyrus and his daughter, and she's going to be this little Disney star, this little girl running around at the pool. And we were actually living in Rick James' room. They're like, every time we like throw parties in the apartment, literally, they're like, the securities would come and like, dude, Rick James did here? We're like, hell yeah. That was right when Dave Chappelle with the thing was big, like, I'm Rick James. So we put it on, and we're like feeling the vibes. We're like, dude, Rick James literally died right here in this room. Like, it's kind of funny. Well, so I'm kind of like, that's how I ended up in Hollywood after touring for so long. And then during that time, we were like, talking with like Warner Brothers. We had like the biggest producers and all this stuff going on in our band was going to take it to the next level. And I was always the guy that liked to go out. So I would like some people would stay and write music. Some people would like smoke weed. I'm like the party guy. So I put on MySpace, way back in MySpace days. Like, I'm going out to whatever. And a bunch of people would come out. And I remember Danny B, shout out to Danny B, the first guy that ever gave me a shot promoting. He told me, like, dude, if you show up with this many people, you can get paid a lot of money. I'm like, really? Like, I was just trying to, like, have fun. Like, how soon could I do it? Like, how about Friday? Like, it was like a Wednesday. So Friday I showed up, and, like, I got all this food for free. Like, awesome, freaking amazing food, bottles. I'm like, dude, and he paid me like $2,000. I'm like, dude, you're going to pay me to come and have fun and party? Like, how many days a week could I do this? So we kind of turned into like, and then our band kind of fizzled out because everyone kind of found their own little, something. And it was the first time in like many years that we all got to like hang out with a girl for longer than like 2 days. you know, because we were always just traveling. And so that time of being there, working on a record and all that stuff is ultimately what, like, we're all like, this is nice. Maybe we should take more of a break. And like, we never had like an official break. It was just like, we enjoyed the break and I went this way and, you know, and that's where I ended up like promoting clubs. We must have met pretty soon after that, right, Natty?
Yeah, I would have been like 18 or 19, rocking my fake ID, you know.
And it's so fun. Like, honestly, I didn't even necessarily know what I was doing. I don't know. Like, me and Natty were talking about this the other day. It was such a different time. Like, you know what I mean? Like the whole party scene. And of course, like I knew a lot of, you know, people in bands and celebrities and this and that. It was just a natural thing to like call friends that I guess were well known and go out together. And it kind of turned into this
like an empire. It was like, well, this is also the time when like TMZ was first be really big. You know, when they were really reporting, this is when Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan were stumbling out of clubs every weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like the time for that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if people are still doing that. I mean, Shannon and I have talked about this. I don't participate in TMZ or Us Weekly because I feel like creep in on people like that. I think they traffic in other people's misery personally, you know. But I don't know if people still club like this or if it was just then. I also think we've taken a shift where like sober is the new fucked up. And I don't know if that's because of our age or if like young kids, but I have kids like teenagers and kids in their early 20s and they don't get fucked up, you know? But back then it was like such a thing we did. Like, you know, and remember DJ weekends were like amateur hour, like the real party people went out like Tuesday through Thursday, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just like totally normal to end up at like, you know, Paris Hilton's, you know, parents' house. You know what I mean? At like 4 a.m. and then it's like 7, 8 a.m. We're like, you know, I'm like skating a half pipe. I'm like at freaking, you know, Paris Hilton's house. Like, and whatever. I mean, it was just, every night it was like, where's this? Where's that? And you didn't realize, now looking back at it, it's like, dude, we lived such a freaking crazy life. And it was, you know, it was always an after party. And man, like you know what I always think about is, I thought that was completely normal and I thought that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And I didn't really think about it. Like I was just, I guess this is my life.
What did you think you were going to do for the rest of your life? Be like a rock star?
I mean, you still are a rock star.
Yeah, that's true.
At one point yeah, but I was just kind of like, you know, going with the flow and like life was great. Life was easy. Life was, you know, simple. But like all the people that I would like, I remember thinking like all these dudes with these big old freaking houses and, you know, nice cars. And they're, you know, I'm bringing over all these young girls and they're like 50, whatever years old. They're still hanging. I'm like, dude, they got the life, dude. Those are the coolest people ever. Now I'm looking back. I'm like, dude, I would never want that. Like now that I have kids and like there'd be no substance. But I also think like, I don't think that I ever thought about that I would live past, you know, 30 something years old and I didn't care to. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I don't think I ever wanted to die, but I was just like, yeah, I mean, the way that it, you know, the way that it is now.
I was like shocked to hear you say that because I thought I was the only one that thought like back in the day that like I wasn't going to grow like to be older or like be like I wanted to be a mom and have a family, but I just thought like the way that I'm living, like I'm not going to last very long, you know? So it's crazy to hear you say that. So like what were you doing that made you think that?
I think it's just like the fast-paced life. And honestly, like being around a lot of that stuff, I wasn't the guy that did. I like drinking and stuff. Like some of the like it just didn't work for me. It wasn't my jam. But I would totally be out all night, you know what I mean? Like
Same here.
it is what it is. I mean, it was what it was, you know. All those were just, I think it was just organic, right? I mean, it's just that you didn't know until the night. I mean, Ledoux, like I was promoting a club Ledoux, which was like legendary.
Oh my God,
you
it
know,
was.
Rock Mondays. I mean, everybody to this day will talk about, you know, Rock Mondays at Ledoux. And it would always be like, you know, where's the after party? I mean, I had a song. I'm on Hollywood and Highland. I'm looking for something to do. There's a party at Ledoux. Wait, I don't know. Forget it. Forget about that part of it. But I did like other random like little things, YouTube channel here and there, and that part's actually kind of funny. The YouTube thing. I'll come back to that.
Yeah, I want to hear about that for sure.
I said, isn't Paris Hilton so nice?
Yeah, like,
Like the
and
coolest, right?
yeah, totally. And the one specific night that I'm like ultimately thinking of, it was like, it was Baron and like, I mean, a whole, Chris Carney, it was like, remember Chris
Rest
Carney,
in
rest in
peace,
peace,
prom
along with,
kings, right?
yeah. Oh my gosh. And that, I mean, there's so many people I could say rest in peace since
Yeah.
I've left Hollywood. And that to me is the crazy thing. I tell my oldest son's 11, Giovanni. I always say, dude, how he saved my life. Meeting my wife, Cece, saved my life. But like, you know what I mean? Like everybody is freaking gone. I was talking to my dad like a few months ago, and he's like, dude, you shouldn't have lost. You shouldn't be losing all these friends quicker than I'm losing friends at 73 years old. I'm like, I know, dude. It's freaking crazy. It's just I feel like every month I get another call of somebody, boom, heart attack, brain aneurysm, overdose, shot in his car. Like, it's just so nuts. And so many reminders like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm like not in that world anymore. But as I said earlier, like absolutely no regrets. Like I didn't know that I was even, I mean, I don't think we did anything wrong. We were just living the life that we were supposed to live at that age, at that time period, right? Like,
Well, and
I mean, I
everything
don't
that
know.
you did brought you to where you are now. Like I find it so interesting, like the club promoting and all that stuff. How personable you are. Totally parlayed you into a really kick-ass actual career for you. Where
Yeah.
you can support your family in whatever lifestyle. I think it all worked out okay, and I feel so blessed that we came through that rabbit hole relatively unscathed.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, the
no
fact that
permanent damage done.
we're all sitting here right now, not just alive and breathing, but also like we all are married and have kids and families. Like, who would have ever
Who
thought
would have thought?
like Natty and I would be gardening and like growing food for our families, like from where we were now. And like you have a very successful business, now, right? Like you're working in Florida. Are you selling timeshares? Like, what's your business?
Yeah, I'm working for Travel and Leisure, and I've been doing it for like 10 and a half, almost 11 years, believe it or not. It's
And
kind
do
of
you love
crazy.
it? I feel like you're
I
so
love
good at
it.
it, obviously.
No, I love it. It's the greatest job in the world. It literally doesn't feel like a job. Like, I always say I have a job that doesn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
Because all I really do is literally bless people with vacation. I mean, I talk about the importance of vacation and how important it is to spend time with your family. And
Yeah.
tomorrow's not promised to anybody. So like, there's nobody that could have more passion in spending time with your family more than me. And just knowing that, you know what I mean? Like, dude, tomorrow might not come. So, the last thing you're going to ever want is say, I wish I would have. And a lot of times I'm getting together with like somebody in a funeral, and it's like, dude, let's not have reunions at funerals. Let's get together before. Let's not have that the reason why we're getting together. And that's
Yeah.
why I just care so much about what I do, because the ones that actually, I basically sit down with somebody that's on vacation. They sit down with me for an hour and a half, and I just throw it out there. Look, you're going to like this or you won't. You could afford it or you can't. I'm the easiest dude here. Like, I'm not in a freaking suit. You know what I mean? I'm like the most laid back. In fact, they didn't even want to hire me. Like nobody in this company wanted to hire me. And the ongoing joke in this company is like, dude, the guy that nobody wanted to hire is still here, and he freaking wins like President's Club Rep of the Year every year. Like the dude that looks crazy and weird, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
We don't think you look weird. We think like you look awesome. I feel
I
like
think so.
you're our people.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
But
feel
for this
like time
industry
hasn't
and
hit
for what they
you.
were looking for, you know what I mean? I wasn't like hey, they're like, what do you know about sales? I'm like, nothing. They're like, why do you want to do this? I don't know. My friend said I should do it. Like, I'm like, we were living in Hollywood, and this is what really transitioned me out. So like, we were living at the Jefferson in Hollywood, right there at Hollywood and Highland. And again, pre-parties at my place, we go to the club, after parties at my place, whatever, right? Limos to Vegas. I was doing Sundays and Mondays, doing the pool parties over there, Wet Republic and stuff like that. So it was just nonstop. How many days a week could I get? Because the more days I'm doing, the more money I'm making. And it was just fun. More than the
Yeah.
same kind of thing. I had a job that didn't feel like a job. But and my wife, when I met Cece, she was super cool with everything. I met she was cool with other girls. She was cool with friends. She wasn't jealous. She was just cool like Natty. Like we're just all homies. But halfway through her pregnancy, I come home like thinking I'm like doing something bringing her a favor. Like I come home with like 3 girls or whatever, and you walk into my condo, my apartment, there's a stripper pole, there's like lights going, and I'm like, what up, Cease? And she's like however many months pregnant, like, dude, this is not working and this is not going to continue to work. I'm like, I thought you'd be stoked. She's like, no, dude, I'm literally like, I'm going to have a baby in like 3, you know what I mean? Whatever. So that was kind of the light bulb went off. Like, maybe I should think about doing something different. Like, I don't know if this is going to fly, like, you know, these hours and like this career, whatever. And I had a friend that I was doing this YouTube channel stuff with that had moved out to San Antonio, Texas. And he was the smartest kid I knew, Scotty Larson, another guy, rest in peace. Holy crap. But he was my best friend in the whole world. And he was the smartest kid. He was opening up that Chick-fil-A on Hollywood Boulevard. He had a tanning salon right there on, right next to the, on Sunset with the dome. What is it called? The movie theater, the white dome right there at Sunset and Vine. Well, ironically and luckily, yeah, there's a few things that were, and also right when that happened, like my old roommate, before I met Cece, I had a roommate, cool dude, and he wasn't like drug dealer. I mean, you know, whatever. You know, Hollywood, you can get whatever you want from somebody, right?
Yeah.
But right when that happened, like,
we're like, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
I literally moved out. Like I moved out of it. He basically kicked me out as a roommate because Cece was coming over all the time. Instead of having a different girl over every night, like for some reason he could have a different girl every night. And all of a sudden when I had the same one, it's like she's got to start paying rent, even though she lived right down the street and had paid her own rent. But it was kind of a weird thing. All right, cool. So we got our own place. Soon after that, like after the whole pregnancy thing and all that, like the feds actually kicked down his freaking door and arrested him, and he actually did 7 years in federal prison for like, and he basically got set up by someone else that said, hey, you need to like, you know, hook up this guy. He basically found out a way to sell to somebody who was an undercover cop, and it took him several months to do that while being on surveillance, and he ultimately had to do 7 years. But I could have been his roommate, you know, and I don't know what implications I could have had, right? And then this and that, and it's like, dude, let's get the F out of Hollywood, dude. Like, you know, like I'm about to be a dad. So anyways, I became a dad. But the guy that I was talking about, Scotty Larson, he was the smartest kid I ever met, but he kind of hit rock bottom feeling like I think when he turned 30 years old, same kind of thing. He opened up the tanning salon. He did this, he did that. And then he was trying to make it as a producer director. Somebody that he hired 8 years previous at that tanning salon was a recruiter for Wyndham. That's who I worked for. So he moved out to get a fresh start. And he was kind of like dabbled in, you know, some pills and whatever. And so he kind of went there to like start a new life and kind of get on a new path. And within the 6 months that he was there, I was like, dude, like just talking on the phone, he's in the greatest place ever. Dude, I'm waking up at 6 a.m, I'm working out and I'm this and I'm that, looking healthy, looking like 10 years younger than he ever did. And I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. So he convinced me to actually move out to San Antonio, Texas. Giovanni was 5 months old at the time. So we did get a house. We bought a house in Chino outside of Hollywood. That was the start of like getting out of there. And then just took a move to kind of be with this company. From there, we did a year there, and then we were going to come back. And then we ended up going to Destin, Florida. He became a manager over there, and then we followed his footsteps. And now we've been in Clearwater for 5 years. But same company, same everything. The way I met Scotty, though, is... Well, after meeting Scotty, so you're doing all this YouTube stuff. I would love to get back into this, by the way. Like we do a lot of traveling, like with the kids. I just don't know how to edit anything. I don't know how to do anything. I want to like.
You can hire people for that.
No, yeah, I know. There's like, I could totally help you. So you just let me know after this call, and I'll help you. But yeah, YouTube is like where it's at. Even like all the people getting famous on like TikTok and on even on Instagram, you'll see they all go to YouTube because they know that that's where the money is at. But it's easier to like do short form content, you know. But
yeah,
long form is where it's at. So I would be happy to help you, and I think you would kill it on YouTube. Like your energy and just like your personality, and you're so charismatic. Like people would love you.
People do love you.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
We do a lot of traveling, and I basically like annoyingly to my wife, like I'm always videoing and but I just put them like in the YouTube stories, you know, and sometimes I save the stories, but there's not that many people. I only have like 3,500 friends or something. They're like, dude, you should like there's so much better than these like videos that they go on YouTube that have like going to Italy. Cause I always have like every little part. We go to Italy every single year, and it's like me and friends and kids, and we're doing more than like,
what the heck? Take us with you. Let me know next time you go. I want to go.
Let's go. We're going in September. We're going for like 3 weeks.
I'm turning 40. I'm like, I need to do something fun for my birthday. Like maybe I'll go to Italy.
Back in those days, it was almost like being signed, like in the band. Like we were signed to Maker Studios. Do you know Maker Studios? You know what that is?
Yeah, I do.
So I mean, it was Sam Macaroni.
You were signed to them?
Well, basically, yeah, they like owned our stuff. So they would give us like a budget for every single video that we made. So this was like my best friend at the time, Sam Macaroni, and we were doing all these videos together. We were blowing stuff up. We were breaking things. But we would get paid for it, and we just have to submit, hey, we're going to do this bomb, explosion, in the middle of the desert, and it's going to cost us $2,000 for this explosion, and we're going to like pretend that we're making popcorn out of a bomb, and then with all these hot girls, and boom, and they're picking up the popcorn, and oh my god! So there's a lot of videos. I have a lot of the videos. If you just put Sam Macaroni, Davin Delosa, there's like a whole bunch of fun videos. We did a lot of parodies. That's where I did some of those rap parodies.
Yeah.
We filmed one in Japan, about like peer pressure, like just a lot of funny stuff. Another guy, rest in peace. He died on a day before his 50th birthday. On March, I want to say 14th, just recently. Again, super freaking crazy. Everybody's freaking gone. The two guys that I did that with, Scotty and Macaroni. Well, okay, but what I was gonna say is through Maker though, I think they owned. It was really Sam Macaroni's deal. So like him, we were doing stuff with like Ray William Johnson at the time. Like he was like the biggest thing in the world, and it was like. When a video would get, I think he was the first person to have 4 million subscribers. That was like on a whole, you know what I mean? Before every kid could just come off and have like a billion views, a million views. Like people weren't getting that, you know what I mean? But it was fun. I always feel like I was like right at the beginning of so many different, things, like I stopped the band right before that next level. The whole YouTube thing, we stopped right before it completely took off. But that whole kind of stopped when Disney bought Maker, and then Disney Studios, and then they kind of paid out a lot of the top guys, Shay Carl, the people that were right there, Sam Macaroni, and that our little crew. Yeah. But it was fun, and we did a lot. We used to go to to the Maker Studios, and there'd be it was like going to Universal Studios on set to film a movie, and there was hair and makeup, there's costumes, there's this, there's that, Snoop's doing his thing right over here with the green screen, we're playing ping pong here, hey, we're doing this, and we get other YouTubers dude, do you want to be in ours and we'll be in yours, and we could share, and that was the beginning of it all, and to see what's happened with it now is holy crap, dude, I was at the beginning of all that,
Yeah.
And it was if you look up Sam Macaroni, Steve-O just did a really nice. He was part of the Jackass crew. So Steve-O just made a really nice video in homage to Sam Macaroni, who taught Steve-O, from Jackass how to edit and all that kind of stuff. And they did a lot of stuff over the last 10 years together. Both being sober. That's the other thing. Sam Macaroni's been completely sober for the last 10 years, and brain aneurysm, gone.
God.
So crazy, right?
So that's how he passed. He of a brain. Mm-hmm. Did he have a family?
The crazy thing is this. So you guys, you know that things always you notice things happen for a reason. Things always happen for a reason, and they're not really. I just recently read a book called The Celestine Prophecies, and it's about recognizing that. Coincidences are not coincidences at all. It's just it's energies coming together, right? Yeah. I mean, it happens to me every day. I mean, I can tell you a million stories of this. But right before we went on this vacation, my son pulls out this shirt. Not this shirt. It's YouTube Money, because we made a song called YouTube Money. I'm making YouTube money, spending everybody else's money on my guns because it's funny. And we were just basically mocking the fact that like we're getting paid by making these stupid YouTube monies, and we're putting hot chicks in the, we'd rent a stretch limo with a, convertible, and we're, wearing gold chains, and we're like, yeah, we're just, making YouTube money. So and then when we went to Japan, we promoted it. And so we have a shirt with my face and his face, and it says YouTube money. And right before we went on that vacation, my son pulled it out of a bin, my 7-year-old, and he's super, obviously, YouTube. Like, he's like, what's this? Who's that? I'm like, that's Sam Macaroni. Like, remember I've talked about, we started watching all these videos that I've been in. He's like, dude, I didn't know you had it. Like, my son, he's like, this is awesome. I have an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old, Giovanni and Rad. So he's talking about this. So hold on, let me get a picture. I took a picture of him, and I sent it to Sam Macaroni, and I hadn't talked to him for a little bit. And I was expecting him to write back and be like, fucking rad, dude. Like, hell yeah. And, he knows my son's name is Rad. And he's always like, everything's fucking rad. I'm like, I named my son Rad. I had his, I had him tattooed on me before, this is like my 80s arm. I grew up in the 80s. So Rad, might as well name my son Rad. But what's crazy is he never responded to that. And it kind of like upset me. Like, dude, why would he not even like respond? Like, my son wearing freaking YouTube, And it turned out, I found out like when I got back from the trip that Sam had passed away. Well, what's crazy is, and then we're talking to Prince family. I got a call from Sylvan, Natty, Sylvan from Ladue, and he's like, dude, he's still like in a coma, and he didn't actually pass. They pulled out whatever. So Sylvan called me from the hospital. He's like, I'm literally sitting here with Sam Macaroni right now. He's like, he could hear you, according to what the doctors are saying. He's like, I got Scooby-Doo playing in the background right now. He's just snoring away peacefully right here. If you want to talk to him, you can, and he's like, Sam, I got someone that, someone on the phone here. I'm going to put it on speakerphone, wants to talk to you. I got the chills right now. So he literally put the phone up to Sam, and I'm like, dude, no wonder why you didn't freaking write back to me. Like, dude, you've been in a coma. Like, well, I was going to be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, but I got a chance to like talk to him for like 10 minutes, at least on my end. And just be like, dude, I miss you more than anything in the world, man. Like, I'll never forget the times we had. We have these videos like that'll, be precious to me for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Love that guy so much. But it was so nice to kind of get closure on my end a little bit, just to be able to say, like, how many times do you lose somebody and be like, dude, I wish I could talk to him one more time. And you look at their phone and you look at your old texts. And it's so weird that you can't just throw a text and like have them read it. Sometimes I do throw a text, even though they're gone. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but I do. Sometimes I'll text, Scotty, my other best friend, and just so you know, I'm thinking about you, bro. Love you, man. But so what I'm talking about is this whole thing, like my son pulling out the shirt, the YouTube money, right? And the whole going through this whole like wormhole of our videos, me and Sam Macaroni together and this and that. The whole time, I think it was like him reaching out because I talked to, every other person that I talked to, everyone had a story. Dude, I hadn't talked to him in 2 years, and all of a sudden, like I threw him a text. I hadn't done this, and all of a sudden, it was almost like he was going around and like reaching out to everybody. Like everybody had that story. Like I'm such a freaking believer that like he was there letting us, you know what I mean? Like there's no way there could be that many coincidences. You know what I'm saying?
God, wow, you like honestly, I feel like we could talk to you for like 5 hours. So going back, like let's rewind a little bit because like I have questions and I'm sure people watching or listening will too. So like you very like quickly went over the fact that like we all grew up in LA, right? Natty, didn't you also grow up in LA? Yeah, because I feel like most people don't like grow up in LA, like we're very rare for all three of us to have grown up in LA, and for us it's all we know. We just grew up with that life, so we don't know any different. But, most people, that's not normal for you to just like, oh, I'm in commercials and, no big deal, like doing acting and all that stuff. And so I think it's a dream for so many people to like be in the entertainment industry, which is now social media and YouTube is like now the new like mainstream, form of entertainment. So it's funny that like it's circling back, right? And you're going to end up like being YouTube famous like all over again. But like, how did you get into acting and modeling like as a child? Like, how did that even happen?
So there's a show called Chips. If you guys might remember Chips, the two cops. There's Ponch and
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada, and the other guy's Tom Riley. Well, Tom Riley was friends with my parents at the time, and he was like a model. It was the guy that came on, and he did like a few years, like the really good looking blonde hair.
Yeah.
So his name was Tom Riley. And I remember he lived right off of Sunset, right up the hill there. At the time, I remember being like 4 or 5. And it was right before he got the job with Chips. That was like his big breakout. And he had his German Shepherd that became my first dog. His name was Pepper. And that was my dog for the next until I was like 16 years old. But he couldn't take care of the dog because he got busy on set and this, that, whatever. But I think he got his agent to say like, DJ is like, or he called me DJ. I was DJ a lot of the time growing up. Cute kid and his sister. So me and my sister both, I think that's how it started. Oh, the first thing I got, this is a pretty funny story. The first job I think that I booked outside of that C&Say commercial was like, I was Cubby, in the Disney Musketeers, right? It was a big audition, and I was going to be the drummer for the Disney Musketeers. And at the time, Disney went on strike. And so I had like drum lessons. I mean, I had a whole contract. I still have the contract. My dad saved like all this stuff. So now all these years later, it's funny. I literally looked at this contract recently. So I'm on contract with Disney. I couldn't book any other movies or do anything else because I'm a Disney Musketeer. But they were on strike. So like a year and a half later, when the strike ended, okay, we're going to start filming. Well, it turns out everyone that they cast was like a year and a half older, right? So they brought in the new cast. The new cast, and this is again going back to like missing things right here. The new cast was like Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, like that whole
Ryan Gosling was in that cast.
Yeah, like everyone that became like, a crazy star. Like, dude, I was supposed to be there.
You were so
and I got
close.
recasted out. So I got paid for like a year and a half for like to do nothing and drum lessons. And that's kind of how I learned how to play drums, I guess, as I was a kid. But I guess that's how it started. And then like, I guess how it ended for me, a few things. I did this movie Newsies with like, Christian Bale was his first movie, and it was fun. It was a Disney musical, and it was between that and the movie Hook at the time. And, I ended up doing Disney, and some of my friends did Hook. Remember with the, Rufio. Yeah. Anyways, I had like a lead role in that, but there was so much dancing and singing and all this stuff involved that 3 months into that, some other kid, Luke Edwards, cool dude, awesome, cool guy, cool actor. He had just done like The Wizard with what's his name? He just done a few big movies that like, hey, his name is bigger than mine. I'm a nobody, right? So they ended up like giving him my role and then making me like a featured newsie. So they actually like to make up for it. I mean, I'm in the movie a bunch, but like I'm on the cover. If you look at like the Disney soundtrack, it's me like clicking my heels with a newspaper in my hand. Like it's just me like, hey, and I'll never forget like, they're like, yeah, we put you on the cover, blah, blah, blah. That was like them making up for it. Well, the next movie I did was going to be Mighty Ducks 2. And I already knew like a bunch of the Mighty Ducks because we had worked together. Brandon Adams was there. Aaron Lohr from Newsies. Like, and it wasn't about being an actor. The next day was hockey practice for the first time. And then Mike Vitar, who had just done like Sandlot and something else, like he's a big name. His manager came in and like, take my role. I'm out. He's in. And for me, I think I was only like 12, 13 at the time. And I was like, dude, this is like, it was so cutthroat, like as a little kid. And I was like, I've already had to leave school every day at like 11, 12 o'clock at lunch. I was the only kid I had a pager at the time, pagers were like not allowed at school, but I could have one because I'm the actor kid, but I couldn't do like, sports at school. So at that point, it was like, dude, I'm done. And my parents, they never, ever forced me to do anything. But I think as soon as that happened, I was like, I don't ever want to go on audition ever again. My mom and dad's like, all right, cool. No big deal. And then I just literally never went on audition again until like after the band and all that stuff. And then.
So I want to ask you about something. Can you tell us about the Bad video?
Oh, Moonwalker? It's funny, yeah. So we filmed that for like, yeah, Batter.
I thought
so
you
it's
were
like
in
the
the
baby
Bad
Bad
video.
I am.
Maybe that's right.
The movie's called Moonwalker, Michael Jackson Moonwalker.
Have you ever seen that movie? It is the most bizarre movie. Wait, you are in it, but
yeah.
I watched that movie for the first time recently. It is, Shannon, you got to watch it. It has got to be the most bizarre 80s thing you've ever seen, like, in your life.
I'm gonna watch it tonight, and then I'm gonna text you.
Yeah, I mean, how funny is it too?
Group chat.
So it's like Baby Bad. So it's like, yeah. So we're all like little kids that are all. I had a better 5 o'clock shadow than I could grow right now, and I was like, I think 8 or 9 years old at the time. But I was like in the blue jumpsuit with the gold chains. But we filmed that on Universal. I think that was Universal Studios, or maybe that was a Warner. I don't know, one of those lots. But that was another, like, I think it was like a 4 or 5 month, like, you know. You had to learn all the dances and all that kind of stuff, and then filming. It took a long time to film that.
Damn, dude, I could never. Do you know I always wanted to, like, do that and like do all that fun stuff that you're talking about? But like when my parents put me in like ballet and tap, like at our like actual recital, everybody was like going right and I was going left because like I didn't know my right from left. Like I was like literally the dumbest fucking kid. Choreography for shit, and guess what? I still can't. You know how like all the TikTok people with their dances, like I can't get famous for that because I can't dance for shit. Like you have all this practice from when you were a kid.
Well, maybe I missed that part, and you just made me realize when I was a kid. So my mom owns dance studios. She still owns dance studios to this day, like 50 something years now. So when I was a kid, I was forced to dance, and I wanted nothing to do with it. But I like because she forced me to do it. It obviously made me better in sports and stuff, and I probably wouldn't have done all these music videos with all these artists and stuff, and Newsies and all that stuff. But like I was like 5 years old, 6 years old on Star Search. Star Search was like the America's Got Talent back then, you know, with Ed McMahon, and there's a judge and you get 1 to 4 stars, you know, like I was on Star Search several times as like a little kid, but I was like kind of forced. So I guess to this day, I still know choreography. My wife says the same thing. Like we went to like a Greek party recently, and there's all these Greek dances. You go on the line, like, dude, I could nail the choreography like first time, like. She's like, dude, how do you do it? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's because I was forced to dance when I was a kid. Yeah. I remember my mom, I never wanted to like, I'm like, I don't want to tap ever again. My mom's like, you got to, when you're double digits, you can make your own decision on that. Like she would never let me miss like, because I played soccer and baseball and stuff as well. But so I wouldn't have to miss like a baseball game for something. But if I had a soccer practice and a dance recital, the dance recital was more important. And I would just be like crying, no, I don't want to do it. So on my 10th birthday, I'm like, I never want to dance ever again. Like I got that was my 10th birthday wish.
Yeah.
Again, going back, you know, no regrets, right?
So crazy. So people are probably listening and being like, holy shit, he was in a Michael Jackson like music video. So wait, was it a music video and a movie?
Yeah, so Moonwalker, it's Michael, it's bad. So it's the batter, you know, I'm bad, but so it's Baby Bad, Batter, Badder. You'll see it. Everybody knows it because everybody freaking remembers that from back in those days. And then what's crazy is after that, I ended up booking I ended up working with the Jacksons for a long time, actually. Jackie Jackson. So I started rapping, and I was like, you know, I was doing a little bit of everything, I guess, and but nothing was ever like planned. Oh, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to do that. You know, but there was this audition that I auditioned for, and I had to go in there and rap. And like, yeah, I wrote some raps, and then I got a call back, and then a second call back, and then a third call back, and it's the same kind of thing as going on an audition for a movie. I kept getting these, you know, callbacks, and then the last one was like, hey, you're going to, and at the time it wasn't necessarily like, we know what this project is. It was basically like them putting a boy band together, right? The last day was at the Jackson Mansion in Encino. So where, you know, the Jacksons, where they're, you know, where they all grew up, right?
I was on Havenhurst, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Havenhurst. Absolutely. So I was there, and I think like, you know, Jackie Jackson, the oldest Jackson brother, he ended up being our producer. He was the one that, you know, did everything, but I got the job. Like I was in the band. So it was called The Mix, MIXX, MIXX. So I was a white kid. There was a Mexican kid. There was a Jamaican kid. And then, you know, 2 black kids. DJ, Wayne, Russ, DJ, Donnie, Wayne, Ray, and Russ. Yeah. But it's so funny too. So anyways, we recorded at the Jackson Mansion. I was at that house freaking every day for I don't know how long recording this records. And I mean, I remember going to Japan, being a little kid with like Another Bad Creation. Remember Another Bad Creation? Aisha, you are the girl that I never had, and I want to get to know you. Remember At the Playground, whatever. So, I mean, I forgot about a lot of this stuff until you guys are asking me. All of a sudden, I'm talking about stuff that I actually forgot. Where was I even going with that? But yeah, the Jacksons, dude. The Jacksons were, I did a lot of. They're cool, man. Great family. And I did a lot of stuff with Wade. Wade Robson. That all that stuff came out after the fact, and
Wade Robson was the choreographer, right?
Yeah. Like
he was
me and
famous
him
for being like Britney Spears' choreographer at what was that dance studio? Millennium?
Yep. But me and
I haven't thought about that in a long time either.
Him and I had a group. We called ourselves DW. Diggity DW stands for DJ and Wade. We're wicked white, biggity bad. You know what I'm saying? We're dancing entertainers, and that's not all. We're eating the Cheerios to get big and tall. So we did a lot of we did the what was it? The MTV Music Awards. And I performed on it, and we danced, or Youth and Film Awards, was that? Oh yeah, MTV Music Awards. That's what I did with Paula Abdul. I was on that with Paula Abdul back in the days, and yeah, it's weird. I'm finding a lot of stuff that I forgot about.
We're just bringing it all out.
Isn't it kind of funny though how now that we're parents and you have kids, I know I had a life before my kids, but what did I do? I have no idea what I did before what I'm doing now. It's kind of like what you're saying, I haven't thought about this in a while. I guess the memories are still there.
The memories are still there. But speaking of, dude, I love my life now. I would never ever trade anything for what I have right now. And when I tell you, I want to kind of, if I want to transition to doing stuff like this, what I would love more than anything is to be one of those families that travel the world and just put the content out there. And I can make enough money to because my kids love traveling. They've all been traveling since they were born, since each one of them. They'll get on planes and there's excuse me, I know what I'm doing. Flight attendants will be like, oh, no, look out, I got it. They get their little stuff situated, they got their little thing. They're just professional travelers. You know what I mean? So, and they've been, all over the world, and it's fun, but
So do you homeschool also?
No, they go to school, but I have no problem taking them out of school because they're really good. They're really good kids. They're smart kids. I mean, they're all way smarter than I've ever been. The first time Giovanni, he took his little testing after preschool, and it's you're in the 99th percentile or something. I'm like, holy crap. And then the next kid, same thing, 98%. I'm like, dude, how are these kids so smart? Cece's pretty smart, And now Raven.
You're
so my boys
too.
are 11 and 7, and what?
You're smart too, dude.
Yeah, you're really smart.
I don't know about I don't know. I was never freaking in school, that kind of thing. So, anyways.
I mean, you're not Cece smart, but
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is the first time when I was, to take a big trip and I want to take them out of school for 2 or 3 weeks, Cece's like, dude, we can't do that. There's no way. I'm like, watch this. I just sent an email to the teacher. Hey, is it cool? We're gonna go to Italy for 2.5 weeks. Instant reply. Well, that's a better education they're gonna get in the classroom. Have fun. Take some pictures. Come back with stories. Let me give you some homework. So now it's just an organic. Every year they already know. I mean, there's a new teacher every year. But as soon as they start, in August, I'm going to let them know, hey, we're going to be gone in September and October, and I'm going to ask you for their schoolwork. One of the trips we left on Monday, and I think we left for 19 days. And on Friday, they got almost 3 weeks of homework, and they just powered through it Saturday and Sunday. And we went on vacation, and they had it all done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think
cool.
that is more important.
Definitely do that. Yeah, you could definitely do homeschool, and they'll probably learn way more than they would in the classroom anyway. The principal is right, but 100,000%, you need to do a family travel YouTube channel, and I would be happy to help with whatever you need. Text me, I'll help you with whatever, get brand deals, all the things, so that you're able to do it. It's so fun, honestly. When you say that you love your life now, I look back and I'm obviously my life is a lot different from what yours, like yours is way cooler than mine. Mine was cool when I was younger. It's not cool now. It's not respected. You know what I mean? Like all the things. But I feel like now, like I'm so lucky to have the life that I live. Like, I don't know how I got here, but I'm really lucky and happy that I did. But I feel like, I genuinely feel like if I had to wake up tomorrow and like a genie could like put a magic wand over me and say like, Shannon, you can have and like be whatever you want to be, like what would you do? Like I would literally choose exactly what I'm doing right now. And I feel like so, I don't know, I guess like happy, but also like because I live this life and I've like reached this success, I feel like that I've like wanted, you know, like you have like somewhere like you want to reach. And like you do it again and then again, you're like, okay, this is cool, but like now I'm at the point where like I want to help other people do what I've been able to do, and I still want to do what I'm doing because I love it and it's like fun. And being able to like vlog all those travels, like you have those memories, like your kids are gonna look back on, and like all the stuff you were talking about with like Sam Macaroni, like all those videos, like when they're no longer here and you're no longer here, that's like the legacy that you're gonna be leaving behind for like generations, you know, like your kids will be watching those videos of you traveling to Italy and like what it was like, and also just for your kids to be able to like look back on when they're older, I think is so cool. It's like, just like you talk about like vacations and you're like, dude, you don't know if you're going to have tomorrow to live, right? Like document everything because you don't know like if you have tomorrow.
Totally. And it's like one thing Cece used to like really get mad about, like, because she was like anti social media, anti anything, you know. And now she fully 1,000,000% like appreciates it, like thanks it. Like each one of my kids, believe it or not, Giovanni's had an Instagram for 11 years now. He's 11 years old. Rad's had one for 7 years, and Raven's had one for 5 years. She'll be 5 next week. But I mean, it's an account run by mom and dad, right? But it's, you know, Raven Alessia, you know, Giovanni Delosa, Rad Delosa. But everything in there from the day they're born to, I mean, for me, it's just like a photo album that's hopefully never going to go away. But you know, like the second time we went to Italy, I'll never forget Raven looking at her first time in Italy. She was just walking. I'm like, she's like, that's me with my tutu coming out of the, you know, like, yeah, we were coming out of the Vatican. Look at you. And she's like, you know, she's playing like with the street performers, eating gelato. She's like, you know, but it's like Raven running the streets of Italy. And she's like 13 months old. And she'll still tell you that she remembers those stories, you know, the first time in Italy, but she watches the videos, she sees the pictures and all that stuff, and they'll go through that stuff. And it's like, I don't remember exactly where I was, you know, when I was 3, 4, 5. But if I was looking at pictures and videos, you know, along the way growing up, I'd tell you stories about that. You know what I mean? So
it's like the modern day photo albums, you know, it's like, it's what it is. It's like their Instagram accounts. I know I started the kids. I mean, like the kids have been documented since before they were born, you know, just like a thought. And then like the whole pregnancy we documented, we documented them coming out of my vagina. Like, you know, they've seen it all. It's all there. And so it's just really cool. I know some people are weird about having their kids on social media, but like my perspective of it is so different than theirs. Like they look in life, you can look at the negative and the positive of things, you know, and if you constantly just thinking about negative things, like you're not going to have a very happy life, you know. But like if you're looking at like the positive things of you know, like we are, is the kids are not being harmed, like they're living their best life, they're set. Like I was telling Natty on our last show, like my kids are set, like they will never want for anything. Like they have real estate, you know, like they have every video we make, like a portion of whatever, you know, AdSense money or brand deals that we get, like goes to them. And so
that's amazing.
Yeah, like they'll
never. How old are your kids now?
So Storm, my youngest, is 4, and my oldest Snow is 6.
Dude, we gotta all get together.
I know.
You're in Nashville. You're in Knoxville.
Yeah, and you're in Clearwater, and Natty's going to be coming out, so we should all maybe you guys can all come out here and be fun.
Yeah.
We'll like go on the boat. Like
I'm totally down. I used to have a bunch of friends in Knoxville that used to work in Pigeon Forge and Smoky Mountains, and they lived in Knoxville. That's where Scotty was living, my buddy that ended up passing away. Yeah. But I have to go to Nashville coming up too, so maybe we could, you know, do a little trip.
I would love to. We should definitely do this, and then we can do an episode in person. It'd be so fun.
Yeah. Yes. Can I tell you some funny stories that I was telling Natty?
My quotable kid. What is that? That's so cute.
So yeah, I've had this since like, since Giovanni was born, and it's so fun. Like recently he went through it, like as an 11-year-old right now. And it's I mean, they can go through it at any time, but basically like each page it's like, you know, Giovanni says, like it says the date, 9/12/2017, morning time, running around. Giovanni says, "Daddy, what are these? What is these?" While holding his junk. Dad says, "Those are your balls." And Giovanni says, "No, they're not, because there's no balls in there." And I say, "Yes, there is." I forgot that wasn't even the one I wanted to read. Like, there's so many freaking good ones, but like anytime somebody says something funny, like while they're young, like it's going in there.
I love
But
that.
like the one where we were like, we were on the boat, and we were in Destin, Florida, and and my friends, like, my friends around there, they were making out or something, kissing, and me and she are on the back, and I'm like, we got this life jacket on, we're about to get out there, and he's like, "Daddy, how come every time people kiss, my pee-pee gets hard?" At 3 years old. And I'm like, that's going in the book. I can't wait to put that in there.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh, kids are such a trip. I didn't know they had like a quote book. That's a good idea. I'm gonna go buy one
Right?
now. I'm
Yeah.
literally going to Amazon. I'm adding it to my Amazon storefront. I'm gonna make all my friends get one so that they can do
Yeah.
that with their kids. And then I'm gonna watch your movie tonight. What is it?
All right,
Battle?
yeah, watch that.
No, it's Moonwalker.
Oh, Moonwalker.
Oh.
Okay.
You just have to watch I'll watch the baby bat. Well, yeah, watch it, whatever. It's funny though, when I was thinking about like remember I've always wanted even though like I knew I was going to be a good dad. I didn't have a kid. I'm like older than you guys. I didn't have Giovanni until I was 34. And so I'm already 46. But and Natty met Giovanni when he was like a month old.
That's the last time I saw you,
But-
when I was pregnant with Hallie.
That's freaking crazy, I know. And but what's funny is like me and Natty, we definitely had like a plan that like, dude, if we don't find like that other significant somebody, like we'll just have kids together. Like, you down? I'm down.
Yeah.
Are you down?
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
I was
I can
totally
have kids with
willing
you.
to just
This would be
like
fine.
have a cool person that's like, we're gonna have, I always wanted to be a dad, so like I'm so glad that I got the the opportunity to be, and it's been freaking awesome, and you can totally put pictures of my kids or whatever.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for the permission. So, okay, you're going to start your YouTube channel again. Do you already have one?
I do. There's some stuff on it, like so you'll have to help me with some sort of, I don't know if like,
I'll put his YouTube so that you guys can go follow it and go support him. And then are you also on like Instagram?
Yeah. Instagram is just my first and last name, Davin Delosa.
Okay.
DAVINDELLOSA. Yep. But yeah, hit me on that one. I have all like my stories. I was gonna say if I could I'll tell you afterwards. But yeah, not on that. But like I'm good at putting the stories together. I feel like, just because like I could add music to something and put whatever I just recorded and it goes there. But if I could just take each one of those, like Florence, Italy, Rome, Italy, Sicily, whatever. And I want to just take all that and put it onto a YouTube and like have someone edit it. I'm like, dude, that'd be a really good freaking,
Yeah, if you already have all the footage, and I can talk to you about like how to get it up, or like the best like strategic way to do it so that like, people want to actually like follow you and you get a lot of views. Cause I think that's like a tricky thing, is like you could have a really interesting story and a really interesting life, but if you don't strategically, and this was a mistake I made when I first started, cause I just didn't know, like if you don't strategically like post and edit a certain way and know like certain things about like the business side of it, it's kind of just like a big waste of time, and it takes so much longer, so yeah, if you can just like find someone that's already done what you want to do, it just collapses your time so much easier, or like so much faster to be able to just like,
Yeah.
Anyway, so so I'm happy to help you with that. But thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything that you want to, like, any last words or that you want to leave us with?
I think family is the most important thing in the world. And right next to my desk, like my desk is like surrounded by like 1,000 pictures of like, from Japan to Australia to Hawaii to Mexico to Italy to like everywhere, the Bahamas and Tennessee and New York. It's just all the trips we've taken in the last 10.5 years. So it's just like my family stuff. But next to my desk, it says, never get so busy making a living, you forget to make a life. And that came from my grandfather gave me that. And my grandpa was like one of my best friends, like Grandma and Gramps, like I got him tattooed right here, They were married 67 years. Gramps was like 97. Grandma was 99 and 10 months when she passed. But Gramps was like my best friend. But he always, in the beginning, his brag used to be like, I came from Italy, didn't have 2 dimes to rub together. I have 3 jobs. I work 20 hours a day, blah, blah, blah. And that was his brag. Later on, his brag was like, dude, I wish, or not the brag, but his thoughts were, I wish I would have spent more time with your dad and your aunt and your uncle growing up. And he was closer to me and my cousins maybe than he was with his own kids. So that to me, like, really, I'll never forget that. So for me, I'm like, you know what? That's why I vacation so much. I take more days off than work than anybody in my office, probably like double, triple, quadruple the time. And some people think I'm crazy. And I'm like, dude, you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. And that to me is like way, way, way more important than anything else.
I love that so much. And I love that like each and every one of us on here right now lived a life that most people would think, they're probably not going to like make it out alive, or, they're probably going down like a real bad path. These are not the people that like, you want to be your role models. But now like, look at us, like we all are very successful. We're happy. We have families. So like anybody watching this that maybe is in a spot that, you're like confused, you're stuck, or you think, I'm not like, like what did I used to think like, I don't know. I had fun, but I felt like, I don't know, like adult life, So for people watching, it'll be very inspiring. And your story is so not just like entertaining, but also super inspiring, and encouraging for like other people to hear it. So I'm super grateful that you took the time out of your day, because I know how precious everyone's time is, to come on and hang out with us and share your story. And I hope that the people listening, or I feel the people that need to hear your story will be listening to it right now.
Awesome.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, I love you guys. Let's get together. You got a place to stay in Clearwater Beach. Come hang out. We got, I wish the kids were over here, but yeah, come to Clearwater Beach. You guys I already told Natty, I got a place on the beach. Come hang out. We'll meet up in Tennessee, Ohio.
Yeah,
Iowa,
let's manifest a reunion. Nobody wants to come to Iowa, okay?
And when we come hang out, we're all in person. We'll do another show so that anyone listening or watching can look forward to that. But we love you. We're sending you all of our love and all of our positive energy, and we hope to see you on our next episode. Mwah.
Yes.